Thank you for joining me here on this last segment of today's show, and we're going to finish off today's show and the week entirely with finishing off the segment from yesterday, the first half of our game picks for week 6. We got part 2 for you guys here on this last segment, so we're going to jump right into it and talk about one of the first matchups I have on here for you guys would be this contest between, there we go, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. Another NFC South matchup between two very fascinating teams because there's a lot surrounding these two teams personnel-wise. Obviously, the biggest one being Spencer Rattler has been announced as the starter for this upcoming game, with Derek Carr being diagnosed as most likely out for this game. The injury designation, from my understanding, doesn't have him ruled out yet, but the initial reports said that he was going to miss a couple weeks. So because of that, Spencer Rattler was announced as the starter, and head coach Dennis Allen announced that this week instead of their backup quarterback last week. I want to say it was Hayner, the quarterback that came in for Derek Carr. Spencer Rattler didn't get any action against the Chiefs in that game, but now he is going to be deemed the starter, another rookie that's going to make his debut alongside Drake May. So Tampa Bay is also having some interesting things to kind of work out because they're coming off of an overtime loss to the Atlanta Falcons 8 days ago, so they've had a little bit more rest, and because of that, it has allowed some of these guys like Kalijah Kancey, Antoine Winfield to potentially make their returns, make their debuts on this upcoming game against the Saints, and it's huge because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, while their offense is great, while it looks great with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Baker playing very well, the defense and the defensive showing overall in the game against the Falcons basically wasn't there. It looks like they were just playing 7-on-7 and they were just seeing who could score more points. That's how bad they were missing Kalijah Kancey, how bad they were missing Antoine Winfield, and now if they can have them back for this week, it's going to make a big difference, and definitely going forward, having those guys back is going to be huge. So for this game, I got to go with Tampa Bay. It's going to be in New Orleans. That's going to help Spencer Rattler a little bit more, but for a rookie quarterback to come in with a team that's on a 3-game losing streak, and I don't know if the Saints can just simply keep up with this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense, which I know it's probably going to be firing on all cylinders after the loss that they had last week. They definitely felt that they should have won. I feel like they're going to come out firing, and I just feel like it's a lot. It's a lot to ask for Spencer Rattler in his first game. So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers to win this contest over the Saints. Then, moving down the line, another divisional game, the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Cincinnati. And the storyline with these two quarterbacks, ironically, was that they were facing some injuries heading from last week. Anthony Richardson also dealing with an oblique injury, and Will Levis dealing with a shoulder injury that he suffered before their bye week this past weekend on Monday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. But according to reports, I haven't seen any injury designations on them. They should be ready to go by this week's game, and it's two quarterbacks that definitely not need to get, or Will Levis needs to get it going, certainly, but Anthony Richardson, he has been part of a great performance in that game against Houston. They didn't win, but he wowed everybody with those throws that he was making. So we've seen some good, we've seen some bad, like the Packers game as well. So it's a game where he just needs to find his bearings a little bit. He needs to kind of slow down and really analyze things a little bit better and not be so frantic, right? Because I feel with Joe Flacco, this team with Joe Flacco felt a lot more under control. And Ashley, welcome to the show. Can the Seahawks win? If you mean like the division, if you mean the division, I think that they can. They already played last night, though, and they lost in a great game, but they lost last night. So if you're referring to the division, I certainly think so. They're pretty much tied for first place, and they've shown some good potential. So if you're referring to the division, I certainly think that they can win it. Also, the division certainly. The division, they can certainly win it if they could just cut down on the turnovers a little bit more over the last couple weeks, they're certainly in the race. I'm not ruling them out completely whatsoever. But in this game with the Colts and the Titans, this is my first time on your live. Hopefully you can stay here and join us each and every weekday. But with this game, the Colts, the Titans, there are some injuries to look out for as well, because the Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman looks to be set to be out for a couple of weeks, so that's a big miss there. And for the Titans, they're also dealing with some injuries just carrying over from past couple weeks, so those are things to monitor. And Indianapolis is now also 0-2 in the AFC South, and they can't afford another loss also. So it's the first divisional game for Tennessee as well, and it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one because with the divisional games, it's so hard to pick one, and I think for certain divisions it makes it even harder as well. Because these two teams are so similar in a way that the offense can show you something one week, but then other times there's a lot more deficiencies. So with this game, me not being sold entirely with Anthony Richardson yet, and also not Will Levis, to be fair, either. There's probably not going to be a Jonathan Taylor in this game either. I'm going to go with the Titans because it is their first divisional game, and I think coming off of that bye, they should be looking a bit better. Ashley, will you have the Chiefs game live next Sunday? We actually, like the weekends, we don't do any of the live shows. But that could be something we could try, I'm sure, at some point in the NFL season. I'm sure doing like a live, well, we can't show the games actually, so I take that back. We can't show the lives on here. We could react to it and we could have a discussion in it if you guys would be down for that. But we actually can't show anything, so yeah, it would just be a conversation, just reacting to it. I'm sure we could probably do that at some point if I brought it up. But that's a good point to make. And moving on to some of these other games, another divisional game, the Chargers taking on the Denver Broncos. Defense with both of these two. Both have two of the most, I think, pesky and annoying defenses, and I don't think anyone should be surprised because of who the coaches are. And it's a good thing. I say it as a good thing because it's great to have those defenses, right? It's been huge for them in a lot of these games. So Jim Harbaugh going up against Sean Payton, two of the most experienced guys, experienced football minds in the NFL. It's a tough one to call again because Denver, coming off of their best performance on offense, the Chargers are coming off of a bye, so they should have a lot more of their guys available to them. Denver has more passing attributes, some more things that I like about their passing game, but Los Angeles has the run game, which I think is better. So it's really hard to pick one. It's hard to pick one because both defenses are great as well. But I think I'm going to go with the Chargers because I feel like they're a bit more advanced, a bit more mature, right, with where they are. Because Bo Nix, obviously a rookie, I think they're still trying to find what makes him great and what they can do to help him out as much as possible. Where the Chargers with Justin Herbert, it's a little bit more established. I find more confidence in that, so I'm going to go with them. I think the Chargers take this one on the road. And also, now moving on to the other side, one of the more intriguing games of the entire week. Like I said, I think the best game is going to be the Commanders and the Ravens, but this game is right up there as well because this is a rematch of last year's great game, but very controversial game in Dallas once again, where I'm sure you guys remember the offensive lineman for the Lions said he registered as being eligible, as an eligible receiver, but then when he caught the touchdown, the referee waved it off and said that he actually didn't report, and it was made such a big mess. The Lions tried to go for it again. They failed. They tried to score. They failed on multiple 2-point attempts, and then it just got like crazy after that point, and it just felt like they were doing too much with it. And now I'm sure both of these two teams definitely remember that, and especially for the Lions, they'd like to get some revenge on the Cowboys as well. And it was just a crazy game last year, and now looking at it this year, the Cowboys are still even more banged up than they were at the beginning of last week. And I don't think this is just a good matchup overall, because the Lions are the epitome of what you don't want to see the Dallas Cowboys playing, right? A great offensive line, a very good running team. You know, they thought they were going to see that with the Steelers, but they haven't really been that. The Lions are the epitome of that, you know, in your face, bullying you, moving you out of the way, while their two running backs have like 6 carries in a row down the field, just right down your throat. And I think in Dallas, the Lions coming off of a bye as well, I think it doesn't really bode well for the Cowboys. And they got the win last week. It was much needed, because I don't think they have any chance in winning this game. So we're going to go with the Lions. The Cowboys fall to 500 again, and it's not going to get any easier going forward. Then the last 2 games here, we're going to go through them pretty quickly. The Falcons, probably going to beat the Panthers. I don't think that's much of a discussion. They're hitting their stride. The Panthers still stuck in a loop. And the last game, the Bengals and the Giants. I kind of struggled this morning picking a winner, but Malik Neighbors isn't going to play again. And the Bengals, while the Giants have been impressive, and they certainly impressed everybody winning last week, I can't think that they're just going to beat the Bengals. They got a lot out of Daniel Jones in their last game, and that was great to see. But I think now, I think with this Cincinnati offense and defense, right, I believe that Cincinnati will get to Daniel Jones a lot more. Like, the pass rush is going to get to Daniel Jones a lot more than Seattle was going to be able to. Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard, and guys like this, they usually get to the quarterback. They've been one of the more reliable aspects of this team in just the recent games. So if they can get to Daniel Jones, I believe they will, more so than Seattle was able to. I have faith in the Bengals to win this game. If they don't, I have no idea what's going to happen. A lot of bad is going to come for this Cincinnati Bengals teams, but I think they win this game. It's weird because the Giants just showed me a great performance, but no Malik Neighbors again. I feel like doing it twice in a row without your best player is a little bit, overextending it now. So we're gonna give it to the Bengals. They'll win. They'll go to 2-4. Same thing as the Giants, I believe. So that'll do it for all the game picks that I have. Let me know what you guys think of my picks, but also share yours as well during the live show, but also afterwards in the comments. And that'll do it for the entire show. Thank you guys for joining me. Please make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to the show, as well as following the network on all forms of social media, and check out the GSMC Sports Network channel on YouTube for more content around this show in a variety of different ways. And also, lastly, tune in every weekday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time for more coverage around the NFL, headlines, everything, discussions, debates, whatever you guys want on this show with me, Manny Maradiegue, as your host. Thanking you for joining me. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys back here on Monday to discuss what happens in Week 6.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to